In the not-so-distant past, we've gotten used to seeing LeBron and Curry as center figures during the NBA playoffs. After his departure with the Warriors, KD was also always talked about as someone who could take over any given postseason. And you know what's crazy about those statements? The last time the NBA playoffs didn't have LeBron, Curry, or KD was in 2005. Since then, we've only been witnessing LeBron's rise, then Kevin Durant came into the league, and Steph Curry followed. It's weird seeing the NBA changing right in front of our eyes, and the story just isn't the same without its main heroes. New faces are stepping up, which begs the question, how will that impact the NBA's future? Hello again, basketball fans, and welcome back to Hoop Vision. Everyone's been talking about the transition that has been ongoing in the NBA, and this was the year it became the most obvious. Here's something to think about. After the first round of the NBA playoffs has ended, this postseason doesn't have LeBron, Curry, KD, Kawhi, Harden, and Paul George anymore. This is just after the first round already. That is crazy when you consider how dominant these players were not so long ago, and how almost all of them were constantly thrown in MVP discussions. It's like watching your favorite TV show for many seasons, only to realize it is getting close to its finale and there'll never be a new episode again. LeBron might be in the league for 2 more years, and his next move will be almost as watched by the media as the NBA Finals themselves. Curry is in a messy situation with the Warriors, this being the first summer with a real potential for breaking up the Splash Brothers. KD has been on a downhill path since joining the Brooklyn Nets, and the Clippers stars are dealing with all kinds of problems. Kawhi is useless at this point due to his knee problems. Westbrook shows no signs of his former self, and Paul George was too inconsistent with his offense. The only one turning back the clock a bit was Harden, but even he is not the beard anymore. Father time gets to everyone, and we're watching it take away the players that once looked superhuman. However, they don't deserve the heat they're getting because they're not supposed to do what they're doing. LeBron's longevity created unrealistic expectations around these basketball players, making the public think it's normal to play professional basketball at the highest level after you've reached 35. Exceptions like LeBron and Brady are something that's totally unique in professional sports, and it probably won't be too long until the entire industry starts looking for ways to replicate that. If you think about it, today's players have a much better diet, training, recovery, and other staff available to them that was unimaginable in eras like the 80s and the 90s. When you look back, Curry took over the league in 2015, which was almost 10 years ago. It feels like yesterday when he was introduced shooting from the logo, not in the All-Star game, but an actual game. Imagine shooting a logo 3 in the 90s or early 2000s when there was an entirely different approach to basketball. Any coach would bench you until the end of regular time, but Curry changed all of that and is the reason why good shooters are picked up defensively as soon as they pass the half court. Regardless of whose fan you are, whether you're among the ones who like or dislike LeBron or any other player, you should be grateful we witnessed their talent in real time. Imagine how many people never got to see Michael Jordan play. We're just left with legends of his once epic title runs and some highlight videos. There's a fair argument you could look up the NBA's archives and find some games, but that's not the same. You can't feel the atmosphere, the build-up, the rivalry, and everything else that follows a true basketball journey. That's why we should be grateful for this elder generation of superstars who will probably give us no more than a couple of years of their greatness. Speaking of the elders, there are some players that are in somewhat unique situations. They are not that young to be considered the promising potentials, but still at that line of being old in basketball terms. Maybe that's what prime actually is. We're talking about folks like Giannis, Embiid, Jokic, and Karl Anthony Towns. If you don't remember, KAT was talked about like one of the most promising centers out there when he entered the league. He was estimated to be the full package, a big man with both size and strength and good shooting on top of that. Now that he'll be 29 this year, it can be said he didn't show his full potential in previous seasons due to lack of playoff success, but all that could change this year. Just like Jordan needed help, KAT might actually win a chip now that Edwards has transformed the Wolves. The reason this age is specific is because it's something of a win-now situation, somewhere between 27 and 32. The players are at the peak of their physical abilities and have the best chances of utilizing all of their tools. So far, Giannis has 1 title but still hasn't returned to the NBA Finals. Embiid seems to be trying everything, but his odds are looking worse year after year. Maxey is a great addition for Philly and will certainly be productive in years to come, but with Embiid's injury history, there's a question mark over the process as everyone's getting better and he's not getting any younger. He'll be 31 during next year's playoffs, so the window for the chip is starting to close slowly but surely, at least with him being the main guy. Out of all these guys, Nikola Jokic is the one with the highest chances of adding another title to his resume, provided the Nuggets don't get stopped by Minnesota in the second round. Despite what everyone says about his laid-back character, he's been one of the league's faces and his jersey is still among the top 15 when it comes to sales. The trio of Jokic, Giannis, and Embiid is in their prime now, so they're the ones who are actually in the center of title expectations and the biggest pressure of carrying the league. They're not doing a bad job so far, but their successors will probably be expected to do even more given how talented they are. We are speaking about the new generation, led by Tatum, Luka, SGA, Halliburton, Ja, Edwards, Zion, and Wemby. The oldest one among them is Tatum, who's 26. And you probably feel like he's been in the league forever. These new kids are playing out of their minds, have so many weapons in their arsenal, and develop at much faster rates than players used to in the past. Many young NBA players have been honing their basketball skills from a very young age. They have access to advanced training facilities, coaching, and competition, allowing them to develop their talents at an accelerated rate. So yes, the league is definitely in great shape and in good hands going forward. LaMelo Ball is also there in the mix if he stays healthy, and Tyrese Maxey will probably be the face of the 76ers once Embiid hits his decline. The NBA will be a true bloodbath once everyone gets more experience, so the future of the league seems to be bright. Tatum has already been to the finals, Luka has reached the top of his conference once, so they're already leading the charge in terms of postseason experience. This year, Anthony Edwards has been balling like a savage, so the only concern for the Wolves fans is if he manages to keep his head level and not get too much into his own hype. Other than that, Minnesota is in awesome position, and so are the Thunder, Pacers, Grizzlies, Spurs, and other teams with their young superstars emerging. The NBA was worried how the basketball landscape would look like without its main guys like LeBron and Curry, but it seems like the show will go on without any trouble. Sure, there are no players who can replace them. After all, they won 8 championships in 10 years. One is an all-time leading scorer, while the other put a three-point record so high probably nobody can ever touch it. Does the NBA benefit from having them both despite them being in their late 30s? Absolutely. Curry is number 1 and LeBron is number 3 in jersey sales, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. They sell tickets, TV rights, make commercials, and do so much for both their franchises and the NBA. Even when they retire, their names carry so much weight that we'll probably see them as either coaches or TV analysts. Imagine a pregame show involving Curry, LeBron, and Shaq. That would bring in insane numbers and probably be hilarious to watch. Now that we have established the torch has been passed, there's one more piece of data to support the claim. Just take a look at last year's playoffs. Steph was eliminated in the second round by the Lakers, who went to the Western Finals. So you had LeBron playing against Curry in the second round and then him losing to the Nuggets, while Jimmy Butler went to the NBA Finals at 33 years of age. This year, none of those guys have made it past the first round, so it's fair to say their reign is pretty much over. This isn't a bad thing. When you think about it, Magic, Bird, and Isaiah Thomas, all of them lost their step in their early 30s, so hats off to LeBron, Curry, and anybody else playing after their prime years. They've given us so much over the years that there's nothing else for us to do but thank them, appreciate them, and be grateful for so many moments that have brought us joy and excitement. Regarding the younger guys, we wish them good luck in carrying the league's torch, since they have so many challenges ahead of them and very big shoes to fill. And that's it for today, dear friends. We hope you've enjoyed this video. Let us know in the comments below, who do you think will be the biggest star from the new generation of NBA players? And could Edward lead Minnesota to their first title this year? Thank you for watching and growing this channel. Make sure you don't miss out on more NBA stories by hitting that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.